Coaches, what's going on? It's Coach Ian Tatum here, back with Coach Rapinick, and it is episode number 11 of the Counterculture Podcast. Today, we'll be talking about pass protection. I've really enjoyed pass protection, even as a run the ball first guy. I love pass pro, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But before we get into that, Coach Rap, how's your week been, man? How you doing?
It's been good. It's been good. First week of spring ball is now completed after today. So good to see the guys running around again. Good to see everybody together. I know we talked about it a little bit, but been meeting with the quarterbacks and stuff like that. But having everybody together is just that much better. So it's been awesome. Very very crazy, trying to get back in the swing of, of course, the grass is starting to grow the same exact week that we start spring ball. So I'm on grass and, doing all that stuff. But, it's kind of what we signed up for. Right. So, but yeah, man, it's been a good week. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, getting back with the kids, we got a lot of new kids coming out. So, that's been really cool to see. We're one of the things that we're a little concerned about on paper coming up until the last couple of weeks was, are we going to be able to play JV? We have the last 2 years. That's one of like the points of emphasis for me. Obviously I know how important it is. Not very many teams in our area play it. Johnny Ohms consistently plays it. Tarboro consistently plays it. There's schools that do. But from school to school, it's kind of a toss-up every year. So seeing some of them new kids come out and, realize that we've had it the last 2 years, they don't really have to worry about the whole, is it going to happen? Is it not? That whole deal. That's been a lot of fun. So I really enjoy having kids who, are new to either us or new to football in general. Especially in the spring, because you got time to really like break stuff down and teach them, how to play their position. But it's been a good time. Really enjoyed it. How's your week been?
It's been good. We talked about it for a minute. We've been testing this week at the middle school, so it's been kind of crazy. More like maintaining and kind of get our kids through, because there's been craziness at the higher level, higher grades down there. So we kind of just try to keep our guys focused. But football wise, it's been kind of doing the same things. All our guys, pretty much 90% of our guys live during the day, so we don't really have like after school stuff. So when we do, like Mondays and Wednesdays, it's defense, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning, Honeycutt has skill guys on offense doing stuff outside, and then we go in the afternoon and kind of just do skill development. You can't do anything crazy, but kind of walk through plays and hit the sled like a little bit, and, doing step stuff, so basic offensive line stuff. So that's been good. Once spring stuff starts to die down, our first spring practice is the 13th of May. So we're trying to go after track season.
Right.
A lot of our guys run track, which is awesome. I love it. Those guys are getting faster. They're getting to experience a different sport. So that's awesome. And then so when they're kind of done, we'll go out with those guys as well. Best day in the spring is passing out helmets to those kids. So and get out there and getting after it. So but it's been good. The week's been okay. I mean, kind of just grinding through. I'm also taking classes too, so kind of get my schoolwork done as well is like banging my head against the wall.
Yeah.
So, and they're not anything that's fun. So,
right.
Doing that, is what it is. But yeah, trying to grind it, man. I use that word grind, but just trying to make it happen.
Yeah. I feel like it's that point in the year where everybody's just like, just find a way.
Yeah.
Just find a way.
Yeah. And we're blessed, man. I have great kids. So we're going on a field trip on Monday, so that'll be fun.
Where are you going?
So we're going to Discovery Place in Charlotte. It's like a science center type deal.
Oh, nice.
Apparently, it's really dope. I've never been. So we're gonna take charter buses
Wow.
down there. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. So kind of just be an all day thing, kind of not have to kind of work uh, on this one day. But we have the group we're taking of our guys, like we're taking all of our best kids because like we had an incentive based like to go.
Oh yeah.
We can only take 50, so like it's like you had to have been on your P's and Q's for the last quarter. So so it'll be really good, relaxing time. I think. I say that, knock on wood.
Right.
But yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. But I tell you what, this dynamic of being at the middle school is so different. Because I mean, I don't know. Like obviously, I'm gonna eventually be in the high school, but being in the middle school, like, these kids are fun. They're so funny.
Yeah, I've never taught middle school,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I did. So like when I was doing my student teaching and stuff, we had to do half in elementary school and half in secondary. So it could have been middle school or high school. I got placed in middle school, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I imagine being there every day would be a lot more fun. But
Yeah. Well, I think especially for PE, I think it's definitely more because kids want to play. Like I go in the gym during their electives, and they in there, three things are happening. One, they're playing soccer on one side of the court, and they're playing, half court or sometimes full court basketball, and then the girls are over there playing volleyball on the other side, like on the side. So, or obviously you have the kids that are kind of just sitting in the bleachers, but like them kids are getting after it. Like it's like darn finals, of the NBA finals out there. But then I go and you go to the high school and you got kids here walking the baseline or they're sitting on their phones, and then you have obviously all the guys that are playing basketball, but that's it. But
yeah. When I student taught in middle school, it was really cool what they did. So they split up the girls and the boys.
Mm-hmm.
So that way the girls, I mean, I don't know. I was never in the girls' classes, but like they said that it made it a lot better, having them split up. But they had 2 gyms. We don't have 2 gyms, but
we do that. We do that too, but like they share the same gym, but they'll split it up in the beginning and do like the girls be over on this side of half court and the guys be on this side of half court, and then once they get up through their stuff, then they'll all free play, and then there's kind of a mixed bag in there. So
right, yeah, it's a good time. I enjoyed student teaching in middle school, that's for sure.
Yeah,
they definitely wanted to be there.
Yeah,
doesn't happen all the time now, so
no, it doesn't.
Go with a bed.
Yeah,
but I mean that point. Back to what you said about y'all having 90% of your kids in weight training. I mean, that's a big time deal, man.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we're, blessed to have also is, I have every returning player in the program besides 6 in my class.
Mm-hmm.
And those 6 are like AP, they're taking college classes, like, so they can't, but that's been something that since I've been back here has been great because your off season until you start spraying or whatever the case is you get to relax a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean that's something that I never really realized because in Virginia, like we had at Norview specifically, we had a weightlifting class. I can't remember what they called it. It was like, anyway, we had a weightlifting class, but it was not like to the extent of what ours is, or like even schools down here, the way they do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that part of it is way different, and to me, where I've always been in Virginia, like you had to start spring or not spring, like you had winter workouts in January.
Yeah.
And you were rolling the whole way. So, it's nice. It's definitely nice. But we're very, very lucky to have the admin and guidance support that we have when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't always happen in those places. So it's definitely you want to kind of just hold on to it and never leave.
Hold on tight.
Yeah, hold on tight.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we're talking about a little bit of pass pro. I enjoyed teaching pass pro. But we kind of joked off air. we were not a passing team last year, so we didn't really.
Right.
It wasn't an emphasis last year. We did, we only practiced it. I don't know. Let's say maybe 5-10 minutes. Now I guess I would say a day. So if it's more like 15-20 minutes a week.
Right.
And then it was more of, hey, this is some things we might see if we do decide to go and pass it. And it was more like one-on-ones.
Right.
And we have the JV D line, just have any of the guys that play D line kind of just give us a look, kind of do stunts and stuff like that, and or just straight up pass rush. So that's kind of how it was for us. But yeah, I love teaching pass pro. I'll get into this. I'll get into the more details, but I'm an independent hands guy. I just have been. It makes sense to me. I prefer it. I think our guys are starting to like it a lot more. They're starting to see the pros of it, and like I said, I will get into detail of that a little later. But yeah, are you a independent hands guy? Are you a shoot two hands? What do you prescribe to?
I start teaching independent hands at the beginning, and then I kind of let them do what's more comfortable. But like for me, a non-negotiable at tackle is independent hands.
Yeah.
Like, and reason being is like if you punch with your outside hand, or excuse me, I always teach inside hand first because that way if it gets swiped, you can bring the outside. Okay. But I never teach them to punch with both hands at tackle.
No.
At guard, you can kind of get away with it a little bit more. But still, like I think everything, you're better off punching inside hand first, in my opinion. Obviously if you're a guard and there's a 3 or something like that, it'd be tough. But still, I definitely think, especially now, it seems like everybody's kind of going to teaching independent hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we went to the Carolina Coaches Combine, that's what a lot of the guys were teaching. But I feel like it's like a big confidence thing too. Like a lot of them don't trust it. So I think that's a big thing. It's like once they figure out, like, man, this is good. Like I don't really get beat as long as my feet are right.
Yeah.
You really, to me, it makes you so much better. And then you go to college, like they're not teaching you to punch with both hands. Like, it's not that I've seen.
Yeah.
So, we'll do drills. When I coach O-line, we do drills where we'll have like a hand shield or an agility bag and they'll swing it and, it's like all tempo stuff or whatever. And they'll punch left, right, kind of almost like a speed bag for a boxer. But yeah, I think as soon as kids are able to figure that out, I think they get a lot better because they start to trust, and you can kind of start to figure out the feet a lot more in that sense too, because now they know like the angle aspect of it. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think independent hands is the way to go for sure.
Yeah. I feel like some guys, about players, they don't. It's not natural for them to start out because they're so like, what does every O-line coach teach first? They're going to teach how to run block. So you're not doing independent hands on run block necessarily. Right. So that's where they get more. Well, coach, I've been doing this, my whole life, run blocking, and it's it's like, all right, well that's cool, but now it's kind of bring you like a little more advanced, right? So, and I agree with you talking about like with tackles, guards, especially if you jump set. I like a one technique shade guy, like you jump him real quick. Like I teach my guys, hey, that's a down block. Like if we don't have the ball out by the time you are driving old boy down the field, then we need to rerun an A gap right now. Like so, I tell them, hey, don't even worry about setting. Just get on his butt and go. So that's what I for that. But but tackles, be patient. And I do need a crotch, and I actually teach outside hand first. What your inside hand first makes a lot of sense. It does. It's just for me, when I teach outside hand first, usually it's for the tackle. And when you get speed rushers off the edge or guys that want to stay outside shoulder, they're going to try and beat you outside. And so what I want to do, I want to stop their momentum with my outside hand, get it out there on their pec, stop their momentum. So what's the next thing that most high school kids are going to do? they're gonna want to go inside.
Right.
So if you win on stabbing their momentum and you make them go inside, to me, you've won the rep because then I'm bringing my inside hand. They're going to go straight into my hand because they're thinking, hey, at one hand's down, I'm going to go and attack that. Boom, right here. It's in your next pec or numbers, however you want to, teach your aiming point. Boom, next pec. Now I have him where I want him in the middle, and I can just drop him down the line. By that time, darn near 5 seconds should have been gone. By now, the ball should be gone. Let's go.
Right.
So that's what I teach outside and in. Now, if I have a head up guy, and he has a 2A go, then I will protect inside first because I don't know if he's going to go outside. So why am I going to punch outside hand, or let's say I'm at left guard? Why am I going to punch left hand first and then he's going right? That doesn't make you're kind of in a dead situation because you don't have a lot of time. Whereas at tackle, he might be a yard outside of you, or he might be a tighter 5. But he's more than likely, those guys, they want to rush the passer, so they're going to go outside. So get outside first and then bring your inside hand. But I definitely understand what you're talking about, bring inside hand, because then you can always bring your outside. But either way, as long as your kids can do it and do it effectively, you can teach a two-hand punch. Your guys, if that's the best thing for them to do. And I love what you said. You teach it early on, and you let them do what's best for them. That's what I do with pulling. Right. I'll teach an open trap pull. I'll teach a skip pull. I'll teach a shuffle pull. But if I don't have a kid that skips very well, open and run. Like I don't do what you do best. I'm not gonna try and fit him. Well, skip pull for a second level defender, I want his shoulders to be square. I don't want to fall down either. So do what you gotta do to make it right. So yeah, definitely teach them, give them the tools, and then let them do what they're comfortable with.
The other thing to me, I feel like naturally, if you punch with both hands, it forces your shoulders to come forward also.
Yes.
It almost messes up demeanor naturally, especially if you're getting extended. Like independent, in my opinion, you can get more extended and still be able to recover, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think, and almost, I think we talked about it last week, or maybe it was before, but I try to always have in the back of my mind, every kid, you want to develop them to potentially be college players.
Yeah.
So you don't want to only teach them one thing and then they go to the next level and they're like, oh, I didn't know that, I don't know how to punch independent. Obviously it's something easy, but and try to prepare them to be able to be productive, and at least make it look like you have an idea that you know what you're doing if they happen to go play college football. But yeah, I think in this day and age, especially with the speed of D linemen now and the blitzes that people are getting, you have to be able to go and work independently, really both sides of your body.
Yeah. I think as well, independent hands, keep your shoulders square. Because especially if he's at a 45-degree angle from me and I go to lunge with both hands, my shoulders are going to turn naturally. That's just how it is, right? Whatever my left hand's doing, my right hand's coming over, you're going to swing. Now, if you go and you punch outside, you punch inside, your shoulders are going to stay square because now both sides of you are not going at the same time. They're going independently. And that just makes sense to me. Is why preach keeping your shoulders square, then you're teaching them something that's going to turn their shoulders. You're fighting against what you're teaching them, and that's not fair to them.
Right.
Before we get too far, sign in with us. Let us know who you are, where you're coming from, and so let's know who's out there. I know Coach Perry Owens has already said vertical set, short set, jump set, and then Coach K has already said, heck yeah, independent hands, love it. If you don't teach independent hands, holler at us. Tell us why. Tell us, your thought process, your philosophy, because I'd love to know. Just because we teach it doesn't mean that you're wrong. Like, so we'd
Right.
love to hear that as well. Give us another viewpoint on it. But yeah, definitely. Like, I'm not gonna teach something and then be mad because they're doing what's not like fundamentally sound. Like, hey, turn your shoulders. Don't turn your shoulders. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just like we say, like what the kids are most comfortable with, you're better off teaching what you know than doing something because you heard us talk about it or whatever. Like if you're not comfortable with it, it's not helping anybody. You know. But yeah, I think there's probably perfectly fine arguments for not doing it.
yeah.
Maybe it's like a part of a scheme thing.
Yeah, I have heard one con independent hands is that you kind of leave your chest exposed because one hand is out and the other one
Right.
comes over. But my thing is, in my opinion, I don't know there's a lot of parallels between boxing and pass pro, but to me, unless you just know you're gonna get a bull rush every time, like then there's counters to that, like you cuff them or you hop back, all those different things. But my thing is like why. And like I say, if you have a guy, hey, this guy's gonna rush every time. All right, well, let's maybe two hands is better because he's coming at you, right? Like, you need to be on the offensive instead of, hey, now I'm gonna step back and now I'm gonna just redirect the guy to his momentum. So if you're not gonna have your hands up like this, protecting my chest, like, so if you need to, you independent hands, inside outside hand first, boom, keep your other hand tucked tight. You're not sitting there down by your shoulder, by your side the whole time. Keep it tucked. So if you do get a bull rush, hit that arm. Like I teach, if you're getting a bull rush right here, bring that hand and hit that elbow. Hitting elbows don't bend like this.
Right.
So I teach pin that elbow down to their other hand, and then you start winning the rep again because you're going to try and get the momentum going another way. So there's different nuances and different things, but this big thing is like you're getting reps at it. With Pass Pro, I do some drills, but a lot of it is trial and error. Get in the game, let's go. One-on-one stuff, you can't learn how to drive unless you drive. So get in there and do it. Coach Fawcett coming in late, but he's here. Hey man, as long as you're here, that's all we care.
I'm a coach.
Yeah, man. Coach Morant's my dude. Love independent hands for keeping the shoulders square. Always having a hand to counter and refit. Yeah,
that's another thing too. Is it's good stuff. I mean, I think it definitely, to me, like the intricacies are a lot. It takes longer, but as far as the quality of what you're able to do in recovery and counter, like Coach said, I think for us, for what we do, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Coach Meyer, appreciate you. Appreciate you coming in late. Don't matter. Like this ain't the same football meetings. You can come in late, Coach.
That's right.
Appreciate you found a free evening. Coach, do you, feet wise, and kind of how I want to ask this, 2-part question. One, terminology. What do you teach those guys with their feet? Are you a drive catch? Are you a kick slide? What do you teach? And then once you have that, how do you kind of go about that? Are you an OLP guy, or you're push off your inside foot and catch yourself, or what are you teaching?
I'm a big Charles Bentley guy.
Yeah,
I got his book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when I was in high school, we weren't taught, really like the details of pass setting and things like that. At ODU, they did a lot better job. Obviously, they're college football coaches.
Yeah.
Once I started doing that, I was like, okay, I want to learn more about, kind of different ways of doing this. And I got the Charles Bentley book. I can't even remember what it's called.
Yeah, it's on my shelf in there. It was in a box.
I gave it to somebody, and they never returned it to me, but I can't remember who I gave it to.
Yeah.
Really, really good book. He does a really good job of breaking stuff down, in my opinion. But I started to teach like the same kind of progression that he does as far as drive catch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you're talking like landmarks and angle type stuff, I teach your outside knee on their inside knee. I know people do knee to crotch and stuff like that, and I just feel like it kind of, especially at tackle. A tackle, I tell them your outside knee on their inside knee. It allows you to kind of be able to recover and post down or whatever. At guard, I'll let them get a little bit wider. So at guard, I'm kind of knee to crotch. Tackle, it's inside knee on outside knee.
Okay.
But yeah, drive catch, I just never really like learn the details of any other way, if that makes sense. And I only know the details of that way because I just building the block. That's exactly what it's called. Thank you, coach.
Yeah.
And I only learned that because I think I saw a video on Twitter, so I started following him. And then I think he posted something about the book, and I read it. But I really like the whole like kinesiology aspect of stuff. Like I'm not necessarily smart enough to do all that, but the way he talks about like how the body moves and stuff like that is really cool to me. I really, really enjoyed that book. So if you're an O-line guy, you need to go read it, especially if you're – I mean, it really doesn't matter what scheme you run, but to me it's like most translatable in like the spread offense, in my opinion.
Yeah. Chris Moran says, toughest thing is timing strikes with footwork, yet work in pans with timing. It really does. It really does. I have the book somewhere. All my coaching books are in a box. This tough thing talks about moving. Like, don't.
I understand that. Done in a time or two.
If you can get away with not moving, guys, don't move. Not worth it. But yeah, I have that book somewhere. Somebody, a coach that I coached with bought me that book a long time ago when I first started getting into coaching, and he's like, dude, I used this and it's helped me, and I haven't read it in a long time, but I read it cover to cover when I first got it.
Right.
I love all their videos on YouTube as well. And I know there's different guys like Tip of the Spear and a whole bunch of different guys. It's preference.
Right.
But again, it goes back to what we say all the time. What can your kids comprehend and do? I'm a drive catch guy. I was a kick slide guy for a long, long time, and then just the way that they explained it made sense with drive catch, because even with kick slide, I would always preface my kick slide with, you're not kicking, like it's short steps. It's like my O-line coach at Gardner-Webb, he would say, hey, it's short steps. It's not kicking with your leg up. So I'm like, well, why are we saying kick then? And so when he says drive, and you want to bring the power from your inside leg and drive off the ground, and you power from the ground, those different things, and then you're going to catch yourself, like you kickstand, all that stuff with the stance, like all that stuff, it builds upon itself. And then the terminology, good terminology, like that's what I'm always about. Like, don't say things that you don't want them to do just because it makes sense. You're like, no, well, tell them what you want in a better way. So I'm big on that.
His teaching cues and coaching points and all that stuff are very easy to understand to me.
Yeah.
They're very easy to remember too. Like when you're teaching that stuff, obviously you don't have the book with you, so you can't go back and look at it. But, but I think, the funniest thing was when I started doing that. I started at my first year at Norview, really like diving into teaching things the way he did. And like the progression where you're on one knee and you kick off of it, or you drive off of it. Sorry. That was the funniest thing. Like the kids trying to figure out how to do it. But I think it really helped. I think it really got us to the point where, they understood the mechanics of, pass setting and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of his. That's for sure.
Yeah. One thing I I will always have old terminology for is open pulling. Like pull that cord on that lawnmower. That's what I was taught back in the day, and that's what I still teach. Like, of course, I also haven't heard anything quote unquote better either.
Right.
So I've always just open, pull the cord. Now a lot of these kids they don't know, they don't mow the yard. So you
True.
kind of got to tell them. Another one that's funny. It's so funny. I used to use this one all the time. And the kids I was around just kind of just either they just knew or they just were like, whatever, Coach Tatum just telling us what to do. But when I got to Tallwood, I still remember to this day. I was teaching Pass Pro, and I was doing speed to power drills, and it's kind of like just mirroring me. I was going speed to power, and I still say pound the post, and that's what I was taught. I still teach pound the post, and love him to death. Ray Colston, he's the D-line coach, still D-line coach there. Good friend of mine. He was like, Coach, these are city boys. They have no clue you're talking about pound the post. And so I kind of had to explain it to him. And once I showed him, like, hey, you build a fence, and you got a post driver, and you're banging that thing down like it's the same thing. You're banging down, banging about pound the post. So I still use that. So I'll say speed to power more. Speed set to power. But I'll still use pound the post as well. So that's one of those kind of coaching terms that I've picked up and kept.
Yeah, I never really even knew up until when I was at ODU, like I didn't know what the movement back. I don't want to call it a post because obviously I didn't know what that word meant. We weren't taught that way, obviously.
Yeah.
My high school coaches were phenomenal people. I love them to death. I'd still run through that wall behind me if they asked me to. But and obviously football was a different game back then, so I had no idea. And that we were working, like they used to call it down the line drill. So like you would pass it down a line, and then guards and centers did it laterally. And that was like part of the thing that we did was post. And I was just like, okay, so it's working back towards the center. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But that was what they used to say too, was pound the post. Coach Bill D, RIP.
Yeah, I always do that, and that's one of my favorite drills because it works more than just like sort of the speed to power drill and mirror. Because I don't do mirror drill. I've seen kids get hurt doing mirror drill.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen a kid towards not with me, but
Right.
I've seen at a program. Coach did mirror drill, and it's a kid that was doing the mirroring. Like it was the kid that was running back and forth.
Oh,
He was running, and kids, you run back and forth between the line, you plant, and they'll do twist and all these different things, kind of fake them out. And he planted and tore his ACL.
wow.
And ever since then, I've never done one-on-one mirror drill. But
Wow.
I will stand out there and I'll go speed to power, and it works. It works them thighs, man, and they're burning after going back and forth, redirecting.
Right.
But I will do that. We did it today. So I love that. I have Pass Pro drills for days. So
Yeah.
for as little we do it, I have Pass Pro drills for days.
They're the most fun ones. Like,
yeah.
There's only so many like hand placement, obviously like drive blocking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like Pass Pro, you can get a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
But I don't remember ever doing mirror drill like at ODU. I've never done it since I've been coaching our line, but they did. So like they called it pass progression. So it would work like angle set, vertical set, post, kick, and then post, then kick, all that stuff. So I guess you kind of get the same thing out of it. It's more controlled, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You don't have that kid like doing circles while he's running back and forth, like you said.
Yeah.
But it helps you work all the same kind of angles and, need a cross if you're one of those, or, whatever the case is, with the same kind of demeanor that you want them using, in game.
Kashmir says Pass Pro is one of my greatest weaknesses as a coach. I was never taught Pass Pro in high school, and we were very run heavy. Team, love, pounds, post, coaching Q. Yeah, man, some been handed down, stolen. So, but yeah, like that it happens. Always looking for ways to teach pass pro mechanics. Yeah, yeah. So we'll do that. I'll tell them. I'll work them in a left-handed stance, right-handed stance. I do both. Like you're not a right or left tackle. You're a guard or a tackle or a center. Um,
Right.
and then you can play any one of those as well. So you're not left or right. You're play side backside. And um, so yeah, we'll do right hand stance, left hand stance. I'll do progression, not very much, like a 1 set reset, 2 set reset, 3 set reset, and then 2 redirect. Um, we'll do that left and right. Just kind of that's more of a pre-practice thing. Hey, work on your sets, get your feet
Basically,
working.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't spend uh, EDD time on that. Um, but and then we used to do a drill. I still have my guys do it. It's one of those you got to get them. Once you get them to know what they're doing, it's something they can do pre-practice. You got to worry about them. They can go do it themselves. But like it's a 3-man drill. So you have your offensive guy in the middle, and you got 2 on his left, one is left and his right, and one in the middle. And so you set to the right. The guy on the right comes down, like rushes. You punch him. You redirect. So you go speed, redirect the power, pound down the guy on the left, and the guy is blitzing like a linebacker, and you have to sink down like he's bull rushing and drive him out. And so they just rotate, and you get multiple guys doing that. You group of 4, group of 4, group of 4, however you do it, and they just rotate. It's a good pre-practice drill for anybody listening.
Kick post bull is what we called it.
Do what?
They called it kick post bull at ODU.
Okay.
So they kick the one guy, post to the other. The bull rush comes. How do you teach how to play a bull rush?
Okay.
Are you a hopper?
I'm not a hopper. I'm a stepper. So
I have never once seen a kid hop on a bull rush.
Nope.
Okay, let me go back. I've never seen a high school kid hop on a bull rush.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like I taught that for the longest time because that's what they did at ODU. And like, the whole time I'm teaching, I'm knowing I would never do this.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, I mean, I feel like as an offensive lineman, really every position, like you don't want to spend time with 0 feet on the ground.
Yeah.
And yes, you're not hopping for like height or anything like that, but for a short amount of time, you have no feet on the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sketchy to me.
I've seen guys get dumped before. Like you're hopping back, and when you hop back, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I was talking to one of the guys that works with me at the middle school. He coaches at a high school near us. Great conversation. We were like, we're talking about bull rush, and he's like, yeah, I'm not a hopper either. And something like, yeah, like it doesn't make sense to me when a guy's in my chest and winning on the bull rush and pushing me back. Why would I want to jump back? I'm helping him.
True.
So I'm not going to jump back. So I teach stepping back. So we're going to step right, left, and while we're doing that, we're trying to redirect our hand, refit our hands. If he's got you can't redirect. I'll teach cuffing. Like breaking handcuffs.
Yeah.
So like I forget. Coach taught me that at Glacier one year, and he basically like I was one of those guys sat in the front. I voluntold to come up.
Love it.
And he had like grab me right here and hold me tight. So I did, and so he's like, now push back. Started pushing him back, and he was stepping, and he went down and like refit, and it was fast. I mean, it happened real quick. He's like, no, it's not something you can just do automatically, right? You have to train this, right? Any type of refitting your hands, you have to train it. You can independent cuff. We went through all this stuff. So break down one hand, refit, break it down another one, refit. Or if you feel like you can, if he has your hands on it, same thing. That's why I got the pin in the elbow. He's like, so if his elbow's there, great, because no one bull rushes outside your frame. Right. It's inside, so your hands are free. Right. So you have to pin his elbow down to his other hand, okay, and then you can refit and start to gain ground. But you still have to walk back because you have to be able to give ground, because otherwise you're just getting jacked up.
Oh
so,
yeah.
You gotta be able to do that, and walking back, you're gonna stay low and trying to gain your leverage back.
Right.
So that's how I teach fighting the bull rush. Obviously, it's a lot for my centers. I do it with my centers a lot and my guards. not many guys usually get bull rushed at tackle. It's usually a long arm is what they get. Which same thing for long arms. If they're just long arming us, same thing. Independent hands. Find whichever side the elbow is, whichever side the elbow is pointing at you. That hand, pin it down.
Right.
Basically, I tell them break the elbow. And you get it. You really want it. Dealing with high schoolers will make you go crazy. So the reason you have to find out ways to make them remember. So obviously we know what this is called. It's called a weenus, right? So tell them that it's like you're gonna break the dude's weenus off. So the dudes they remember it, dude. Like they're like, yeah, coach, I did broke the dude's weenus. Like, all right, that's the practice stuff. You ain't gotta say that on the sidelines. So, there's gonna be a parent in the stands that didn't hear what you said, or just don't know that's what the elbow is called. So, but yeah, we'll teach that as well. But yeah, really, most people that get bull rushed is when you have an odd front nose on the center, right? So, really teaching my centers to do that. So, really have to be really good with the offhand. There's different drills you can do with the offhand. I have them snap. I'll drop a towel, drop a tennis ball, and have to try to catch it. Trying to get the hand up fast. Like that.
Yeah, I think so. We used to do. They called it rewashing at ODU, like resetting your hands, or, whatever you want to call it. They used to do that. They called it rewash drill. So it was the same kind of concept. I don't know if it was necessarily designed as a pass pro deal. I think it was more of a run blocking type situation. So you got, you're fitted up. And one guy's on offense, one guy's on defense, and they're like steady rewashing. But well, really both of them wind up on offense. It's back and forth. So like what I would do is I blow the whistle. One side, they start on offense, they rewash their hands and drive, and then they switch. The guy who becomes on offense rewashes, drops his hips, and drives. Yeah. So kind of gives you the same deal, but yeah, I just could never get a kid to hop. And to be honest, that's really all I knew. I didn't know at the time of like another way to beat the bull rush because, obviously like you kind of do not kind of, but you do what you know. And that was really the only way I ever saw to beat it was to hop. And I don't know if I ever saw a kid do it at ODU the more I think about it. It's a sketchy deal. I wouldn't want to do it. That's for sure.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Last drill we talked about, and it's just another one of the pre-practice deals. We should do basically it was fighting the swim, rip, and spin. And so we would have the defensive guy, basically you would set with them, they would walk and they would swim, and you would set, you would hit their open exposed side, right ribs. Hit the ribs, reset, you go to rip, okay, they would dip their shoulder, push down on the shoulder, and then have them spin, and we do I always call it machine gun hands, like, on the back. And that always helped my guys. Hey, what is really fast? A gun, shooting it, like get your hands moving, hitting that back. And what I found is I don't have to teach the feet because as soon as those hands start hitting the back, what are your feet gonna do? Work with them.
Oh yeah.
So you're just trying to train their feet and their hands. Hey, as soon as I'm sitting there hitting bang, 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 my feet are moving with us. Because how you get beat on a spin move, out of position, your feet don't move with you, and you don't stay in front. So that's a big thing. So we'll go swim, hit the ribs, rip, hit the pads, push them down, then we'll go spin, machine guns on the back. So that's a good that's a good pre-practice thing they can do on their own.
Yeah,
as well. So
I mean that to me that just reinforces like the independent hand deal.
Yeah.
Like you can't do any of that. I mean, theoretically, you could, on the swim, you could be fine.
Yeah.
On the rip, you could be fine. But the spin, like I teach, same concept. I teach them, help them spin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deal. Yeah. I mean, it's no, you know what I mean? And yeah, I saw a video Coach McNally posted. It's probably been a while now, where he teaches, and I don't know if he still does or if what it was, but he teaches if they spin, you spin.
Yeah.
So if it's like an up and under type deal, it's crazy. I mean, obviously he's working with the best players in the world, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, still, like, I couldn't imagine teaching a kid to do that. It would be really, really cool if it worked, though. I'll tell you that much. But
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be wild.
Do you wanna hop into some diagrams and some film? I know you. I'm gonna go first, and you we gonna kind of flip off.
Yeah, let's talk a little scheme stuff.
Cool. So, guys that are still out there, appreciate y'all watching. Hope especially Coach Meyer that doesn't have as much experience in pass pro. We're just throwing out ideas that have worked for us. Hopefully, you can pick up something. Really appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
To try to help you out specifically, since you kind of voiced that. But kind of put out just some scheme, and I'm gonna talk about three. I'm gonna talk about full slide, half slide, and then sprint out. Just that's what we do, and then kind of talk about how I teach it. I mean, it's really easy. Pass pro is easy to teach. So, and then kind of teach kind of some like how I install and stuff like that. We're not a zone team, so I don't teach half slide like a zone. I know some guys do. I don't because we're not a zone team. So do what?
That's how I teach it.
Oh, you do okay. Well,
side at least.
okay, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So be a different perspective. So let me go ahead and share my screen. See entire screen.
Well, Coach Meyer, if you need more help, I mean, I'd be happy to. I'm sure Coach would too.
Yeah.
Obviously, ask as many questions as you want, but you know, hit me up on Twitter or whatever, and we can jump on Zoom or I'd be happy to help. I'm not saying I know all of it by any means, but I can tell you what we do and what works for us.
No doubt. This I don't have my setup ready. I don't have my extra TV, my second screen, so I can't see everybody. So can you see this, Coach?
I cannot. I can see you.
Okay. Well, I'm an idiot. All right. Let's see. Share. There we go. You can see that now.
Yeah.
Okay. So like when I have my second screen, I have what everybody else can see up here, and I can still see everybody.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
One downside to StreamYard I can't see, but basic, full slide protection. I think it's the easiest. I tell my kids all the time, it's the easiest thing you ever do as an offensive lineman, because you have one rule, right? You block what's in your play side gap, and you slide. And I'm trying to get away from the word slide, especially since I've seen more guys say sort. That makes a lot more sense, especially for what's drawn up a 3-4 defense. My bad. Drawn up against 3-4 defense with this guy like with head ups or inside techniques that will stunt and twist more often. So essentially, full slide. All five offensive linemen are going to slide to the play side gap. So let's just say this is full slide, right? And so whatever's in your right side gap, so the tackle has a C gap, guard has a B gap, center has A, left guard has backside A, and then obviously left tackle has backside B. That's just for us. And then so what I teach them is you slide to your gap, and you keep sliding until you get into your buddy's area. You get into your gap, nothing's there. You lend a hand backside, but you keep your eyes in your play side gap. Because the biggest thing on full slide where breakdowns happen is when nothing's in your gap, and so you go to look back to help your buddy, and when you turn, like you're sliding, when you go to turn, look or at least look back, what's going to happen? Your shoulders are going to turn naturally. It's what happens, and then you get run throughs. So what I teach them is eyes in your gap, slide, keep a hand here, independent hands, keep the other hand backside, call it a lag hand or drag hand, whatever you want to call it. So you can lend a hand once something threatens your gap. Now I'm fully committed. That's my dude, right? Yes. So nothing's there. Now I can leave a drag hand, lend a presence to my buddy backside till he gets there. That's more of a zone deal, right? So, so either way, right or left, and then you always have a guy that picks up the backside C gap, whether it be a running back or it be like an H back off the edge. I'm really big on that. I love that. Have an H back maybe in a wing or like in the B gap sniffer, and have them off the edge, right? Put big bodies on big bodies.
Yeah.
So
No
that's one of the downsides of full slide is having a running back on a D end, right? So
Have you ever taught it where, so like I started doing it a little bit if we get even front 90% of the time. So like if we're sliding to a 3 and for example, like the backside tackle and your look that you drew, we'll have him slide. Like the way I teach it is get to his hip, get to everybody's hip. And the backside tackle, I tell him if you get to the guard's hip and you don't see anything, your odds are still there, but you can help out on the D end also to kind of help with like what you said. I was told a long time ago to never trust tight ends or running backs to block.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what I was taught. I'm not saying I tell my players that, but that's what I was taught. So, you know, I've kind of taken that in the sense of like, you know, a lot of DNs now with, you know, the way football is morphing into like, let's throw it all over the place type deal. They're like pass rush guys. So it may not be as big of a deal, but that's something we've gotten into. I don't know if, you know, I don't know if it's common or have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm drawing it up right here real quick. Especially if we slide to the open B gap, or slide away from the B gap, excuse me.
Right.
So and we get something just standard, defense that just stays in their gaps, right? And then these guys have eyes here.
Right.
So if we're all sliding to the left and this tackle slides and there's no one there, 100%, because the running back's taught to get tight off the tackle.
Right.
So if he has no one in this B gap, well, screw the drag hand. Right. Yeah, you could help back, right? So, but I think that comes with teaching the quarterback as well. If this guy comes, you got to be alert to that as well.
Right.
So more of a game plan thing, especially if a savvy quarterback. Hey, if we have a backside B gap, this tackle's going to help outside. You're going to have an open B gap.
Right.
And that kind of fits into your half slide world as well.
Yeah.
So if you teach it like that, if you teach a backside linebacker is the quarterback's guy, plays on linebacker, quarterback's guy, whoever you teach, then you can get away with this as well because there's not much teaching you have to do on the full slide. Hey, open B gap, tackle's going to help the DN. You're going to have an open B gap. Play off of the linebacker, right? You're hot. So let's just say the H is in here. What I feel more comfortable having an H right here on this DN. Why? Because now you're running power.
Right.
With this guy. Now, they're just down blocking, right? This is full slide. This is duo, right? This is power. You don't have anybody pulling. This is power, right? The H gets paid to do this, especially if you run power a lot. That's what he gets paid to do. This J block kick out. So a little more feel better about it. Now, if you have Derrick Henry in the backfield, let that joke go block the ends.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
If you have the majority of what we have is, the 5'7", 125-pound running back. So that's what we have. I'm just saying in high school, you don't want him blocking.
Human being for a high school player. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's full slide. Like I say, it's the easiest thing we'll do as an offensive line. The reason I really, really like it, like I said, we already talked about kind of the negatives, but the pros, I feel like every gap is covered by an offensive lineman except for the backside. So it's really good quick game, especially if you play odd front defenses, and you get this look. I'm just drawing stuff up right here, and you don't know where they're coming from, right? They might twist, they might stunt, they might do whatever in the world they want to. Great, awesome, perfect. So let's say we're gonna get a twist game. Say they go here and they bring this guy late here. And let's say he stunts there and they bring a long stick, right? And then he's off there. I'm just drawing up some bullcrap.
Right.
But the thing is, in theory, if we've taught our guys well enough, tackle has the end, guard has the looper, Center has the nose going front side A gap. Left guard has the long stick, and then the tackle now can help the long stick because whether he's a penetrate first, go late, or he's a go now guy, whatever, communicate it, right? And then now you have the running back off the edge, and then you hope that you're trying to get 3 seconds, right? Trying to run through your outs, slants, all those things. So, 100%. That's why I like it, because in theory, all your gaps are covered by all your inside gaps are covered by offensive linemen.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a negative to half slide, but that's why I think you have to carry both. And that's why I'm getting to that real quick. You got to carry both. Why? Because I don't know why they're all against 3-4s. Let me look this real quick. Okay, it's all against 3-4. All right. I drew this up back in 2021. So anyway, so negative of full slide is the backside being covered by a skill guy. So what you do?
Coach, you got a question from Coach Meyer. Will you alert call the left tackle for anything off the edge?
Will you alert call? Like you get 2 outside. That's what I'm assuming he's saying. Like you got a DN and an outside backer. Yeah, I would, especially if you have that open B gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn him back. You can make a fan call, make whatever call you want. Have that tackle go out. But then that needs to be communicated across the whole line of scrimmage, so they all know. If you have, let's see, let me draw it up real quick. I
think the good part about full slide against something like that too is like gap sound defense. You know what I mean? If you get 2 outside the tackle to the slide side, the DN's coming B gap if the outside linebacker's coming off the edge.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier to sort out. Now the tackle can be a little bit more aggressive because he knows he has help coming.
Yeah. Draw this up. It's cleaner. Oh, don't mess with me now. Knew this was gonna happen. Gotta have a center. All right. So let's just go with this example, right? So he goes B gap, he comes off the edge, and then he's still A. He is there and he's there. Okay. So yes. Well, for one, you don't have anybody over here except for the mic. He'll have to cover. So you have an open, you have open grass here. But let's just
share your screen. Reshare your screen.
Oh, my bad. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Right there. Good. So now we're all sliding to the left. So he's got him there. Now, if you want to make an alert call, whatever you want to say, now that he knows he's still got B gap, he's got there, but let's say they're not gap sound and he goes C as well. All right. Well, which one would you rather have? Would you rather have we be sound because they're supposed to be sound, or we do something because they might not be sound? I guess that's where I would rather be sound. I'd rather have my tackle go down, have 2 off the edge, then now I'm turning back, and now he crosses my tackle's face and he's in the B gap.
Right.
So if this is what they do, if they do this all the time, they have 2 off the edge, then you need to have answers for it. And probably your answer would be to half slide this thing.
No question. That's what I was about to say.
And so I'll go to here.
The other answer too, if you're a full slide, like you got to be full slides, you flip it.
Yeah. Slide to the pressure. Yes.
Right.
Slide to the pressure. But yeah. So then the brother, a full slide, be half slide, obviously. And I'm just gonna draw it up even front because everybody loves even front. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. You can do either one, but everybody knows I love odd front defense, so I'm not shy to put that on there. But let's just do it here so it looks clean. All right. So what I teach, play side. You have the slide. What does play side mean, Coach? Well, day one when I install power, play side is the center, guard, and tackle to where the play is going. So whatever center, right guard, right tackle is play side, right? So they know this. So when I go into the meeting room and I say, hey, we're going to learn half slide, play side slides. Okay. They know the center to the play is sliding. So they would mean that the center, guard, and tackle to the right, if we're going to call full slide, I mean, half slide right, whatever you want to call it. Okay. They know that the center, guard, and tackle to the right are sliding to the right automatically. And so, and I'll show them the perfect look, and I'll show them the adjusted look, of course. So what I tell them is the backside players are manned on the defensive line. So the left guard will have the 3 technique wherever he goes. If he goes to give his girlfriend a kiss in the stands, you go up with him and hold his hand. Same thing with the left tackle. He goes to get some popcorn, you go get some fries. So you got him. He goes B gap, he goes C gap, don't matter to me. You got that guy, right? That's your dude. You ain't responsible for no gaps on the backside. So that's the perfect look. The not perfect look, because we don't tell defenses how to play, is when we call slide to the right, they have 3 technique to the right, and they have a shade to the right. Well, you're never going to sit there and slide. You're never going to have a man away and leave an open A gap. You have the D line, the first D lineman backside. So when I tell this guy, you slide with us. Now you're not a part of the sort. You slide and play side. You have a shade right here in the A gap. If the A gap, if the shade goes A gap, he goes B gap. He goes to Kingdom Come. You go with him, right? That's why I tell them. The kids laugh and they remember it, right? That's my guy. So that's how I teach half slide. Play side, you slide to your play side gap. Backside, your man on. Okay, the guard has the first D lineman backside. Left tackle, you have the edge defender, whoever the end line scrimmage is. And then the running back has the open gap. So if he's in the A, he slides A, and he has him, you step into the B. You play 1 to 2. This is a bit more scheme stuff, but you have 1 to 2, most dangerous.
Right.
If he is B and he's A, okay, he's going to go outside. Now you step up into the A gap. You have 1 to 2. Now if you like to you like to get things with the running back, like you get him out on the routes, you can check him. He steps to the A gap. He bursts off the linebacker. That's perfect. We're offensive line guys right now teaching pass pro, so that doesn't worry about us. So this would be a 6-man half slide because we have the running back with us. Right. He's responsible for one of the linebackers. Now, we're responsible for the play side linebacker. We have 3 for 3. Gap sound defense, as Coach Rapnick just said. In a perfect world, DN goes B gap. That's not what it looked like. DN goes B gap. Tackle stays A. He's responsible for the B. Perfect world. Now, you would think that these 3 would stunt these 3 gaps. Doesn't always happen, but that's what we're trying to teach, especially day 1. So that's half slide. I keep it simple. I don't try to get too crazy. I try to be cheap on the scheme. I'm not trying to be like cheap as in bad, but not as expensive to teach. And then I can be expensive with the technique, with teaching them how to beat these guys, because the scheme's not going to beat the defensive line. We are. So
how do you?
Coach, but
no, I haven't seen anything. Oh wait, hold on 1 second, Coach Moran. Do either of you teach your center to read coverages to anticipate pressure? What's the process? I do not. Nope. We did at ODU a little bit, and I don't know how much it. Let me go back. From a coverage perspective, no. From a safety rotation, I'll just stick with from a safety rotation perspective, yes, to an extent. We didn't really get a whole lot of it. I don't get a whole lot of safety. I don't get any safety rotation now. They're either 1 high or 2 high, and they ain't changing. But if that's something that your center can handle, I think from a next level perspective, from a college football perspective, I think that's something great that you could help them with. There's no doubt about that. I just think as for high school kids, the kids that I deal with, and there's nothing wrong with them at all, but they have so many other things that they think about on a daily basis. The last thing I want to give them is say, hey, what coverage was the defense in? And I don't mean that to come off disrespectful or anything like that, but I would just rather him worry about the tackle box. I would rather put more on my quarterback than my center in that sense. To be able to see, because the way we run our stuff, especially with the half slide, is we teach for the center calls the protection, which direction we're sliding, and the only person that can override that is a quarterback. So that way, if the quarterback sees, this outside linebacker's walking up, or the safeties are rotating, whatever part you want to call it, then he can check it. So that's just what we've done. But I think if you have a kid that can do that, that's awesome. That is awesome.
I don't do that either. But what I will do, not having done it at Walkertown, because we're not a passing team, but when we had a quarterback, especially at North, and I had a guy I had a tackle that could understand, right? And he was a head case, but I love that kid. I had a left tackle that was smart enough to understand, especially when we played odd front defense.
Right.
I love blocking odd front defense. I love it. So if I was ever be a head coach one day, we're running odd front defense. But what I would teach him is, because he could understand movement. And an odd front defense, I can draw it up, but I'm just going to talk about it. Odd front defense, if we have, 4-0-4, 2 30 backers, and two outside overhangs, it's too high. If we have safety rotation and safety comes down and the outside backer creeps up, I would show him on film, what do you think is going to happen?
Right.
And he was thinking, the guy's coming off the edge. I'm like, so what do you think your 4 technique's going to do? He's going to stun across my face. Like, all right. So especially in the half slide, if you're on the man side, you have to communicate with your guard. Hey, bruh, you got the 4 technique.
Right.
You got me.
Yeah.
I got the edge pressure. If we're sliding to it, hey, bruh, I got the outside guy. You got the 4 technique.
Come on.
Okay. So come on with me. So that he was good at that, of seeing outside pressure, and especially since we would arc our tackles on counter. He was good at getting out in space. So he was used to seeing overhang guys coming at him. So if you do that with counter, that's perfect as well. So 100%. Coach, my wife's calling me. Let me answer this. You want to talk to them real quick?
Okay. Coach,
she called me 3 times. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, okay. You're all right. I've been teaching my guys on slide to read the triangle. Keep in mind, I have college athletes. Is that something you teach? And what are your coaching points for it? I do not. The way that I teach our half slide is what I do. Same thing, the man side. So we call the protection based on what our center sees. He sets it. We either are going right or left. The center starts to slide. Obviously, everybody, if we're going left, the left guard, left tackle. I teach them that they're responsible for the gap to the slide side. So if we're sliding left, the center's got left A gap, guard's got left B gap, tackle's got left C gap. One of the things that I do teach to help with that is we pass set off the line of scrimmage as fast as we can. So that way we can help sort out a lot of that stuff. Whether it be some kind of stunt or twist game or anything like that, we can kind of see it coming a little bit better. But that's something that I've not messed with. I really, really like being able to teach things multiple different ways. But at the same time, kind of Coach Tatum's point was, I don't want to have to have the kids overthink it. So when I say, hey, if we're in our call where we're sliding left, you have the gap to your left. And then same kind of deal like he said, the backside away from the slide side, you're a man on. Doesn't matter where they go, you got them. You know, obviously you can kind of get into, okay, well, if we're sliding left and the right guard, right tackle get some kind of twist game, yeah, we're passing it off. But for us, that's a big game plan thing. Is do we see them doing any kind of line stunts? Do we see them doing twist games or anything like that? Okay, we're going to make sure that, you know, we understand and we can pick it up. But like I said, we don't see a lot of very exotic defenses, I guess would be the word. Maybe some of these new head coaches that have gotten jobs around us that we play will. But as far as the last 2 years, the last 2 seasons that I've been here, we haven't seen anything too wild.
The most wild stuff I saw last year was in practice because we started and twisted a lot on defense, and we were good. So that was, but yeah, in games you might have, I don't know, you might have a B gap tackle go A. But you don't. Or you might obviously you're gonna get your normal blitzes, but
right,
we didn't really see much. But yeah, it's reading the triangle. It's really, for me, it's really just get your eyes in your gap. There's no reason to really read the triangle when they're going to tell you what they're going to do. Like, they can't do but so much, especially if they don't twist, meaning cross each other. If they just stunt, great, stunt. Go over there. My buddy's got you. So I'm not trying to short sell defensive coordinators, D line coaches, but if you start, in my opinion, if you start treating a lot of these things like it's the worst thing in the world, then the kids are going to treat it like it's the worst thing in the world. So I talk to them very nonchalantly, like, hey, guys, trust the process. Get your eyes in your gap. They're going to come to you.
Right.
As well as picking up stunts and twists, if something's leaving, something's coming.
Yeah.
Don't turn back on slide. Don't turn back. Trust that your buddy's going to be there. If he's not, I'll chew him out, not you.
Right.
So definitely get that. My boy Wesley Woodward over talking crap. I'm gonna be honest with you, Coach. Huddle is huddle. It's a huddle playbook drives me crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm good at huddle playbook for the most part. I understand it. I've played around with different softwares. I'm not the biggest huddle hater in the world. It does what I need it to do. Sometimes it doesn't, but then I just get through it because it is what it is. But I know there's a lot of different video playback or playbook systems that are way better. Great, it's awesome. I'm not paying for it, so I use what I have. So if it's great for you, it's awesome. Love it.
Yeah. I just use Huddle Playbook to draw scout cards.
Yeah.
I don't give out a playbook on day one. So this past Monday, we started spring ball. I gave every player a notebook. That's their football notebook. I draw the stuff up on the board. We watch film of it. We go rep it. They draw their own playbook.
This is to the extent, Coach, of what I do. This is North Rowan stuff. So I literally got in there because I wanted the guys to do it in our blocking schemes. Inside zone versus odd. In here, all gets odd, right? And then I have, against dogs, just 3-3 stack. So I would draw them up against the different fronts and stuff like that, and I would have it on Huddle, and I would send it to them, and I could see who had looked at it, quote unquote. But That's it. It is not a playbook. It is a reference,
right?
I would say. And I didn't have it last year, and it sucked. I had a bootleg Pearson's Huddle playbook, but I would literally put it on Google Classroom.
Yeah.
So the kids go there and they would study. So the kids, what I have found is if you don't have the situation like you have where they get in there and they draw stuff up for themselves, if you don't have that situation, because we didn't meet a lot last year and it was not great. So if you don't have a lot of meetings, you got to learn somehow. And for me, it's a reference. Hey, Coach, what is blankety blank? Go back to classroom and look at it. I have a whole video because I make videos. I'm That's what I do. So I'm good at that. So I use what I'm good at. So I make a video on it. Like I have videos that aren't even on YouTube. I'm literally talking to my kids, so explaining concepts.
It's smart.
I mean,
I
so
never thought about doing that.
I had a kid that he was very visual, right? And so I sent him to Google Classroom. I would do quizzes on there, just like quizzes for install, not quizzes throughout the week. And just be like, hey, Coach, I have a question about power. All right, well, I would have him, okay, let's talk about it. And I would reference the Google Classroom. He'll go back. He would say, oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about. And then go back and forth. It's a reference. It's not a playbook. That's what I use it for. So that's a little, that one's for free. A little reference. Let them reference the stuff. Because if they don't know, either they're going to bug you or they're going to just get it by without it. Yeah. So give them something to go look at.
Yeah. The amount of time that drawing a playbook takes is just, and I mean, I do it. So like we have a playbook, very base stuff.
Yeah.
Like our run game tags aren't on it. Our formations are there, but I'm not drawing every single play out of formations or against every defense or anything like that. Like it's very, very basic. And that's more for my coaches than my players. It's just like I know the amount of time that it takes to draw a playbook because I've done it. And I'm just like, there's no way these kids are going to look at it for as long as it took me to draw it. So I'm just going to draw it up on the board and they're going to roll. So let me ask you
a question. It's kind of off topic of pass pro, but it's kind of in what we're talking about right now. Are you? Because I'm not. I've been in places where they were. Are you a time requirement on huddle for kids?
No.
Okay.
No.
I've been at places
where
they had I've been at a place where they've had requirements, and I feel like we had more film watched when there was no requirement.
Yeah.
The kids that want to be good are going to watch film, and the ones that aren't are going to play. So
true. Yeah. My thought process is, and this could be dead wrong, I don't know. I don't really believe that kids know how to watch film.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, you could take the whole thought process of like it's our job to teach them, and I agree with that. But I've watched kids watch film, and they watch it like a football game.
Yeah.
Like they're not rewinding clips and stuff like that. So even if they are watching film, like if their huddle says they watch 15 hours of film in a week, do I think that they got anything out of it? Not really. And I know we did a video on practice plan, I think is what it was, where we talked about like how we, run a week practice. But we watch film on Mondays, and I think it kind of helped the kids to understand how to watch film. But at the same time, like I'm not really, I would love for them to watch film, but at the end of the day, I'm not really expecting them to. Coaches on the other hand, yes. If you suggest something and I look on the huddle and I see that you aren't watching film, it goes in this here and out this one. I'm not wasting my time. If you're prepared and, all that good stuff, yes, we can sit down, we can talk. I'll probably even call it. But if you're not, I'm not wasting my time with it.
That's a tough situation, and I agree with you. Meyer says, I try every base run, play against common fronts. We see other teams, we go over adjustments. Yeah, that's exactly what we do. Like in that playlist install I had, it just showed like I don't know where the even ones are. I don't know if they didn't get brought over or whatever, but I literally had even, what I call even, which everybody calls even, which is a 3 technical shade.
Right.
And I don't get as detailed as an over and under, but I can. But even, odd to me, which is 404 or 4504, whatever, doesn't matter. And then 3-3 stack, and then bear. Those are the four I'll draw it against. But I'm not drawing it. I'll do it for myself, and then I'll put it out for the kids, like in summer. But then I'll get on the board and I'll draw them against them, and I'll have the kids draw it up against those. But what I'll tell you is, it really helps if your defense is an odd front defense. It just does, because they see it every day. So you don't have to learn it every day.
Right.
Like when you're just an even front defense in practice, they know that stuff. You got to spend more time on odd front. Now, if you have an odd front defense, that's all they see all summer and all camp, I would rather take them from that to even than go from even to odd. That's just.
I would agree with that.
Because my Northern Land kids, you literally ask them, it's like, hey, what are we going to do against this odd front? They're like, oh, do. We arc on counter. We're doing this and that. We're doubling the nose. We got this call. We have that call. Blew my mind. Last year I was there. Went in there and we were playing the even front team. We played a lot odd. Out of 10 games on our schedule, like 6 were odd. So it was, and that's not common.
Right.
And so when we get to an even team, they're like mind blown. They're like, this and that. Which they learned it, but they're like, where's the odd teams, coach? Like, dude, I don't know. Yeah, I wish I could record you saying that, put you on Twitter.
Right.
People would lose their minds.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I loved about that, because that's all they saw. We were an odd front defense for 3 years, and that's what they knew.
Right.
Then we got Bear. It's just an extension. All I told them that Bear was nothing but the edge guys walked up. Like, oh yeah, it is good. It is. So love it.
Yeah, we started last year. We saw more odd, but still not. It might have been like 3 teams, maybe 4.
Yeah.
But it's tough for us too, man, because trying to figure out what teams are going to run against us is just difficult. But we kind of what I do is like our base stuff. We're an inside outside zone power counter team. That's what we are. We tag the crap out of all of it to make it look a lot cooler. It makes it a lot more fun for me, but we carry in certain tags based on the defense that we're playing. We're gonna find ways, like we've talked about. We're gonna figure out how to run counter. There's no doubt, guaranteed. But I mean, I think a lot of it. Obviously, you have plays that you like better and that are better against odd front. But to me, if we can kind of get an idea and almost force you into changing, or at least like angle-wise making it better, we're going to find a way to be able to, if it's putting an H back in or, whatever the case is, to be able to, get the numbers that we need or the angle that we need. But it's tough for our kids because it's like, of course, we don't play them like back-to-back weeks. It'll be like odd front and then 3 even front games and then odd front. So you're like, hey, do you remember like a month ago when we were playing so-and-so and we blocked it like this? And we're like, yeah, I remember. And you know that they don't. So it's kind of how it works for us.
Because Myers says, I test everything versus odd front. Everyone can block even. Not everyone can block odd. Took me a while to learn that. It's always backwards, but it works. Yeah. If you can block odd front, it's been my experience. I'm not talking crap about anybody or any coach, but it's been my experiences. If you have answers for odd front, somebody puts it up in front of you, you already have beaten out half the coaches that are your peers.
Yeah.
It's sad to say that, but it is what it is. Like the defense that sucks the most, it's not even or odd or stack or bear. It's the ones that can they can jump in and out of fronts.
Yes.
Because now you have to, because if you stay in one front, cool, we got it. Like we've learned this. Now, if I had the odd versus even, and you get some bear, Now you're doing some different things. Now I have to now I got to make sure, hey, you got to know we got a nose, it's odd. You got, you don't have one, it's even, we'll call it even. Now, if you have an odd, and you have a nose, and you have three techniques, and the tackle sits out off the edge, you got to communicate there, right? So, and now things, not that our rules change, but we have adjustments, right? That we like versus certain fronts. So now you got to be able to communicate that. Even front, a lot of deuces, right? A lot of play side tackle and guard double teams. Odd front, a lot of play side guard center double teams.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to communicate that. So now the guard needs to know: am I pulling around the tackle? Am I pulling around the guard now? So it's just different things that change play.
Yeah.
So that's what sucks. The teams can do that, but not a lot of teams can do that because they don't have enough time to install even and odd or jump in and out of them. Now that's more higher level stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
If you can, though. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean,
Well,
especially
a lot of teams there's a lot of teams like that, like zone, because
Yeah.
you get in your gap and go. So
play
there you
teams.
go. They start odd and jump even on the snap. That's a crazy film week for me. Yeah. Definitely teams that stem.
Yeah.
They'll start creeping and go. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's tough. And only thing you can do is to make sure you got to rep it. Hopefully your scout guys can give you a look. For developing a full playbook for staff quarterback reference, I recommend Just Play. Cheap, easy, gotcha. Yeah, a lot of people I know use Just Play, and they swear by it.
I tried God, what's it called? Go Army Edge. It's like the video one or whatever. So hard for me. Like that one, and then there's another one called Play Our Book. Really
Yeah,
cool. It's like
yeah.
a VR style type deal.
Mhm.
Really difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we used Huddle for scout cards.
Yeah.
Everything else is done by the kids. So, I mean, as a teacher, you hear like some kids are, all the different ways of learning, or like some of them have to write it, some of them have to see it, do it, all that. So it kind of covers it for us, to be able to have them draw it while I'm drawing it, while I'm talking them through it, and then be able to go run it.
Speaking of stuff like that, I just texted Trotter because we don't have reps.
Is
So
Trotter good? He's not
I said,
here.
I know. I texted him. I was like, dude, I was like, missing you in the podcast comments.
They must be in like quadruple overtime in the volleyball game this week.
I guess. Or yeah.
He's grinding one out right now.
Sweating bullets right now. Oh my goodness. Coach, you gotta. I'm good to keep rolling, but we'll see. It's been a rough night, so let's all pray for Coach Trotter. It's been a rough night. So love that dude. He'll come on, talk to us a little bit later about some stuff. But Coach, you got anything like any other past you want to talk about? I got to talk about sprint out, but there's some things I wanted to touch on and get to the question of the night as well. So
yeah, I mean, I figured it would probably wind up being to where we run the same stuff because I don't know of like that many protections. So I mean, we're full slide. We don't run it a whole lot. We ran full slide last year a couple games because we would either get two guys off the edge, or we played a team and they had a three technique he would line up in a three technique, but you never really knew where he was going after the snap, and he was a good player. So we wanted to bring help, wherever he was. So we ran full slide and kind of, I guess, in a sense, like walled it off almost. But yeah, I mean, we're full slide, half slide. We're starting to run. I've never been a huge rollout guy, but I'm getting more into it. So, we'll run naked. We'll run like dash protection where everybody's leading, and get into some of that stuff coming into this year. But my quarterback throws on the run pretty well. So trying to get into stuff that he does well and, kind of mess with some guys and stuff like that at the same time.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull up a little bit, sprint out. So I love sprint out. Especially when I've had an athlete the last several years, and then this year we're great at passing. So the only thing we really could do is that.
Right.
So, let me see what I want to pull up. There we go. These are good. I love my flood variations. It's always good. Again, that's I always gotta talk crap about him. It's my head coach right there. Anyway, um, little sprint out, and basically it's nothing too difficult, guys. We're reaching our play side gap, right? Tackle has the edge guy, so you have a defensive end right here. You have got the edge. The running back is helping the tackle to seal it, and then he can go out to the next guy as well. That's really the biggest point of emphasis is the play side. You don't want run throughs from linebackers to interrupt the sprint out. So tackle has to sell out. I teach just like outside zone football. It's 2 feet behind the line, reach and run. Same thing with the guard, 2 feet behind the line, reach and run. And in the center, depending on what the front is, if they have a 3 technique, he can kind of take his time because he's got a backside shade and he's protecting his play side gap. But the biggest thing as well is having a running back willing to come off the edge and help.
Yeah.
So, like this, if we wanted to run this, what we teach the running back is, especially if the tackle has the DN, he goes and blocks there, and now we're off and we're running quarterback sweep.
Right.
So that's what. If you don't do that, I recommend doing that. It's literally you have whatever's open. You got this route coming up from right here. The deeper one we hit is open as well, but you have your running back pick one of these 2 guys and then make the other one miss as a quarterback get what you can. So yeah. A little bit better. Craig Ranch is right here, especially against odd. He's in a 4. What I tell these guys, if they bring an overhang off the line scrimmage, running back's guy, pin him down. That's what we do. So we got a double team here to the next guy. I know it's pass pro, so we can't go downfield, but it is what it is. Center and guard help backside right there. And then I reach and run through the backside gap. It's not rocket science. Now this tackle right here, love his kid to death, but he has the oddest feet on this earth. And so why does he click his heels? Don't know, just does. So he should be attacking this guy right here, right now. But he doesn't. But it is what it is. We still seal the edge, and we complete the ball. And we won this game on a walk-off field. So
love it.
Also, I know this is talking about pass pro right now, but I love this variation of flood. So instead of getting that, we switch it up. We do a little whip route. He's there. He's there. It just really plays games with this guy, especially when he sees 3 to the flat a lot. A lot of concepts have 3 to the flat. So now I chase this. Now behind him is wide open. God, it was nice to throw the ball. But yeah, so that's just a little bit of spread out. I mean, nothing mind blowing. Let me stop sharing. All right. But yeah, spread out right there. Being like when you teach stuff like that, that's kind of what you do as well, or
yeah. I mean, like I said, we never ran. We've always been drop back, 5-man, 6-man protection.
Yeah.
And a couple of big things that I studied this off season was rollout type protection. So I've known it, but just never messed with it much. So I'm looking forward to it. We haven't put it in yet. I think that's going to wind up being something we start doing next week. But and honestly, I was never really a big flood guy.
Yeah.
We ran it as a drop back concept 2 years ago, but it was always into the boundary, so that way the throw wasn't, a mile. But yeah, starting to get a little bit more versed in, letting the quarterback get in space a little bit.
Yeah. Coach, before we get to the question, I want to throw this out there. If you're still here, please comment because you're gonna be the first one to see this. So let me get a couple comments in there, being like, "Hey, I'm still here. Love what y'all are doing, guys." While you're doing that, I'm gonna pull this up. You'll be the first people to see the schedule for the clinic.
Yeah,
For the coordinator clinic.
a week away.
No one has seen this except for the speakers. So if you are still here, make sure that you are.
I haven't seen it.
Well, you weren't a speaker until like today.
Oh, okay. I'll learn with the rest of the world.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, if you're still here, holla at me, holla at Coach Rapp. Let us know you're still here, but let's go to it. Because I'm gonna be completely transparent with you, Coach. This was not locked down fully until like today. So
I understand.
So yeah, this is a schedule. I really have pulled this out my butt, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you, like in the last like 3 or 4 days. Because like on Monday, this was like almost completely blank. Some guys have been gracious to come on and help me, and it's been fantastic. So at 8:30, Coach Jared Ruffles here in North Carolina at Oak Grove, he's gonna be coming on talking about Liberty University's offensive advantages. He went up to Liberty and learned a lot of their stuff. He wants to implement that stuff. He wants to share with you guys what he learned. It's really going to be really good stuff. If you know Liberty, it's Jamie Chadwell. That offense is very, very, very dope.
Poetry in motion.
Yes. So he's going to come on and talk to us a little bit about that. Plus, I really hope he dives into his offense because what they call the Bear Raid, not to talk about like Coach Johnson's Power Raid or just the area, they call it the Bear Raid because they're the Grizzlies. But it is that veer 2-back triple option with it's dope. So I really hope he talks about that stuff as well. Coach Michael Hughes, who's the head coach of Mount Bethel Christian Academy in Georgia, he's going to talk about structuring practice with limited player numbers. I have a video, and I feel bad because I have a video with him. I was going to start my head coaches academy, and I moving and vacations and all that stuff, spring break, threw a wrench in everything, so I couldn't get started with my head coaches academy. But have a video with him. He talks about being a head coach of a private school that has like low numbers. Coming from a place that has low numbers, now he has like more resources, stuff like that. But he has different levels of kids. So he can talk about structuring your practice with that. He's a really good guy. He's gonna talk about that stuff. Coach Brian Wiley, I think it's Wiley. It's Willie or Wiley. I mean, he was on my very first clinic, just like Coach Rapinick was. He's coming back. Offensive coordinator at Fairmont High School with 2 O's. In Minnesota. He'll talk about game planning and aligning practice with game night. Really, really looking forward to that. He is a state championship level coach. Didn't win it the year that he was on the podcast, but they went to the state championship and lost. But really, really dope offense. Love what he's doing. John Cody, who's the offensive coordinator, offensive line coach at Kentucky State. He's going to come on and talk about practice structure and tight zone at 10 o'clock. At 10:30, Dustin Martin, head coach of the Camden School here in North Carolina. Private school here in North Carolina in Concord. He's going to talk about mastering defense, structure, strategy, and coverage. His topic has like another 5-6 words. Couldn't fit it on there. But he's going to come on and talk about a lot, basically talking about mastering defense. He's a really good guy. He's going to be on the podcast as well one day. AJ Woolley, who's was on my clinic as well before. I think Woolley was. Anyway, he's offensive coordinator, offensive line coach at Austin Vandergrift High School in Texas. Obviously, Texas ball is what it is, and he's in Austin. He's an Austin Westlake alum. If you know what Westlake is, perennial powerhouse in Texas. So he's in that area. He's been at that school before. So really, really excited to see. He hasn't given me his topic yet. He says he's going to let me know tomorrow what his topic is. And then I need to change this one because I tried to do it on my computer, on my phone, excuse me. And then Maurice Terrain, who's the defensive coordinator, DB's coach at Greensboro College. Coach Terrain is an absolutely fantastic guy. He is a former high school coach, former college coach. Before that, again, he's the defensive coordinator at Greensboro College. Really, really gracious man, really dope, a lot of energy. They're going to really love listening to Coach Terrain, talking about his hybrid 3-4 defense and his culture and philosophy. And Coach Moore, if you've been on Twitter for any stretch of time, you've seen Coach Moore talk about a plethora of things on Twitter, and whether it be his opinions on a lot of things. I wanted to give him a platform to come on and talk. He jumped at the opportunity to talk about using a blitz package as your base defense. Really interested to listen to that. We can learn a little bit about that. My guy, Brian Radakovich, who's the offensive coordinator, offensive line coach at Methodist University here in North Carolina. We'll talk about weekly game planning and workflow process. I'm really big on the weekly game planning, watching film, making adjustments based off what defenses are doing, stuff like that. That's going to be really, really good, especially from a college guy. William Fly, if you are in North Carolina, especially the Charlotte area, or if you're in the southeast region, William Fly. Coach Fly is probably one of the best strength and conditioning coaches in this region of the country, and I was able to get him on, and he hasn't given me a topic yet, but he will. But he's going to be talking about, he's the director of performance at Mallard Creek. Mallard Creek is a powerhouse in North Carolina, so make sure you come on and you're hanging out with us for that. At 1 o'clock, I'm going to skip this and come back. We'll talk about it in a minute, but 2:30, Jared Rickman.
Okay.
Sorry. I'll spend more time talking about that.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so Jared Rickman, he's DB, he's the pass coordinator at Mill Creek High School, in Georgia. Previously, he was the DC at Flowery Branch in Georgia, who is a powerhouse state championship program. He's going to talk about split stack defense, calls, installs, season progression, personnel, and formation calls, marrying it to force defense. So, a lot of things in there, but split stack defenses are different, I guess I would say. So that would be really, really cool to learn that. Justin Clark, who's the offensive coordinator, wide receiver coach, North Carolina Wesleyan. Obviously, North Carolina, he's talking about developing the wide receiver. And then I have 2 slots right here that have not been filled. I have guys on the hook who are checking their schedules. One being Austin Trotter, but I think he has some things going on that afternoon. So he's going to check back with me. So I'm trying to keep one of these 2 open for him because that's my guy and he gets first refusal. So he's going to let me know pretty soon. If he is, we're going to talk about some dope stuff. And obviously Trotter's always good to talk. But I do have some other guys that now are like, oh, dude, I would love to do it. Let me check my schedule. And there are going to be some really, really quality guys. And then the GOAT, Brandon Simmons, our guy, offensive coordinator at Southeast Raleigh High School. He was actually the first. I'm pretty sure he was the first. Let's see. Yeah, him and Micah Hughes were the first to say they would come on the clinic. Coach Simmons he's the man. Yeah. And if you follow him on Twitter, he's really, really humble. Will help anybody.
I would say great person too.
Great person. So he's going to come on talking about developing your offensive identity, which is going to be really, really good. This guy is going to be a rock star head coach one day. He's doing really, really good things as an offensive coordinator in Raleigh. So yeah, that is the schedule and what we're doing new for this clinic. We are going to be doing a chalk war, offense versus defense. Now, if you've never seen a chalk war before, essentially you have 2 coaches that go against each other. Basically, they're playing a simulated game on a whiteboard. During COVID, this was really big in the Twitter community through coaches that would do it like every week. I never jumped on and participated, but I always watched it every week when I was single and didn't have much going on. So, and they would go for hours, like 3-hour sessions, right, once a week. And so, Coach Arafat, if y'all know him on Twitter, he started this guy out in Texas. And so it's been going on for a long time, but he made it popular during COVID. So we're going to do one. It's going to be a trial and error, but I got to get with these guys and kind of figure out how I want to structure it and kind of rules and how we're going to do it. But I know two of these men personally, and then the other three I've met through Twitter, which I think are going to be really good. We talked about how to make this the best thing we can, and the number one thing I always tell them is no egos, none of this chalk, pin in the hand last, bull crap. We're trying to get better and trying to learn defense and offense. So basically, what chalk war is offensive coordinator or offensive guy will draw up a formation. All right. And I provide down and distance and situation. And the offensive coordinator draws up his formation. Defensive coordinator draws up his alignment to it. And then all pre-snap stuff has to be put on there before like motions or shifts, so the defensive guy can see it. Then I'll screenshot it, put it on the screen, and then the offensive coordinator will draw his play, and the defensive coordinator draw his play, stunt, front, whatever, blitz, coverage, everything he wants his defense to be looking at and doing, he has to draw up, and then we go through it. So we'll put it on one board. It'll be on the offensive coordinator's board, and we'll see kind of who won that rep. So if a coach draws up, calls up power, and literally the defensive guy left an open B gap and has the play side linebacker fitting outside and has an open gap, and we're running free, obviously the offensive guy is going to win it. So it's going to be a lot of feedback by the chat that's watching and myself, and then vice versa. If the offensive guy calls 4 verts and doesn't set his protection and they're playing cover 4 and the blitz open A gap, that's a sack. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, so we'll all vote on those things. So I'm just trying to give you some ideas. So really, you kind of got to be on your P's and Q's. But I think it's gonna be a really good time because there aren't gonna be any egos. If there are, I'll handle it. So I know it won't be from the guys I know, but it won't be in general. But talk about the guys that are going to be joining us on defense first. Coach Terrence Gant hit me up on Twitter and was like, dude, I would love to do the defensive session. We talked a little bit, and he's going to be coming out with Defense 1. Coach Brett Nichols hit me up actually on Facebook when I posted the picture on the groups. He's going to be talking about he wants to do defense as well. And so he's going to get a chance to be defense 2. And then Craig Kleiman, he's going to be defense 3. The guy from Twitter, he's going to be coming out as defense 3. Now, guys, you know if you follow me, Coach Mitch Johnson, my guy, runs Powerade. He is going to be coming out as offense 1. He is itching to get out there and get back and be calling some plays. So we are going to be calling offense 1. And then yours truly, Coach Ian Rapinick, is going to be on offense 2. And we're going to mix them around so everybody plays everybody, but just calling it offense 2. So, Coach, are you excited?
I'm excited. I've never done it before.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever watched one before. So it's going to be a learning experience, but, I think it'll be a good time. I think it'll be a good time.
It's going to be dope. I might jump on there and throw some on there because I'm dumb. We do talk words to the staff in the winter. Hey, coach, in the situation, you have 30 seconds to call play. Yeah. Defense is allowed to see the formation beforehand. Yes. So literally, if Rapp and I were doing it right now, if he was the offensive guy, he would draw up his formation and say it's just trips right. So you draw up trips right, and then I would have time to respond, and I would just align my defense to what he has. Then he's going to make his play call. Let's say he calls 4 verts, and his number 3 is running the bender, and 2's running, run hash, and then outside mantle release by number 1. And I call 2 high cover 2. Well, he's splitting my safeties and knocking his head on the goalpost. So it's kind of, you got to be able to call different things. Now, I have rules. I'm going to draw them up in detail and have them out there. Not everybody is even Madden, right? I have a 99 over quarterback that's going to Florida. Like, no, you don't. Like, chill out. So everybody's even. Everybody's running high school's tough. I don't. If you draw it up and it's sound, we'll call it. Now, if you want to call up some trick plays and it's a double reverse pass between the legs, whatever.
Right.
But it's a learning thing. It's literally what would you do in a certain situation. I'm not going to do clock time unless we're going to like 2-minute situation, but it'd be like 2nd and 7 on the negative 42-yard line. What's your play call? Right. I want to see what is their thought process, and I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna have all the situations drawn up so they can kind of be prepared. And I won't get too crazy. I won't be like it's 3rd and 31. Like no. But it'll be those situations, and then so they can draw it up. And I want to see it's 3rd and 6. Is the defensive coordinator gonna bring some pressure? Like that's what I kind of want to see. What is their thought process? And then, is Coach Rapp gonna call a screen to into the pressure, right? To kind of get behind them. So just stuff like that. It's kind of what makes it really, really fun. And then kind of just moving on. Like once we've decided, just move on, right?
Yeah.
And then just trying to just get better. Because at the end of the day, none of this is real. So
Yeah, valid.
And everybody's in agreement. But I got to find one more offensive guy. I'm kind of holding that spot open for somebody. I'm not gonna say who it is right now. I kind of want it to be Trotter, but he can't do that time slot.
Come on.
He wants to do the later.
Trotter's a busy man.
He is. He's got a lot going on. So I wanted him to come out. He's gonna come up with some funky formations. And that's what I was kind of wanting him to do, and let those defensive guys be like, oh well, this, because he'll come out in quads and then come out with 3 H-backs.
Yeah.
Unbalanced. So,
right.
So yeah, that's what but kind of get some guys to come on and do that. I think it's gonna be a really good time. And I think if it has success, I kind of want to do that because I've always loved it. I always loved Chalk Wars. Kind of record one or kind of do one live and have some guys get on and just talk ball again.
Yeah.
Before the summer gets here. So, but yeah, that's the schedule. Not no one's really seen that. So put that out there. Like I said, there's 2 more slots open. One is reserved for Trotter to refuse, and then I have one guy that I really want to get on. He's got to check his schedule for next week. They're rocking and rolling. I'm excited, man. Especially now, I'm hyped. When I tell you, Coach, when I tell you on Monday there were 3 slots filled, like I was in panic mode. I was in panic mode. Like from last night to when testing was over today, I had DMs and I had just DMs, but dude, I would love to do it. Some guys I just DM'd, guys that I know. So yeah, definitely rocking and rolling now. So love it.
It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you could join us. I'm glad you can join us.
Looking forward to it.
If you want to come hang out, I know you said you might have your staff over or something. I don't know, but if you wanna come and hang out at any point, you can come hang out and moderate with me if you want to, or you just hang out. You hang out and chill and watch. It's up to you. But yeah, it's gonna be a great time. I think this is gonna be the last one I do for the year, which is kind of sad because I did 3 last year. I think this is my 3rd one this year. So I mean, it feels like I'm graduating. I don't know why. I literally told somebody this is my last one I'm doing, and they said, "Ever?" And I'm like, "No, just for the season." I'm like, oh, okay.
Ever?
Yeah, no,
that's hilarious.
I like doing it too much to really ever.
Right,
so.
right.
But yeah, I love it.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. The last 2 that I've been to have been a lot of fun. So, well, I mean, the first one that I spoke at, that I like hung around for and all that, it's good too because like if you got something going on or whatever, excuse me, you can go in and out. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if people like necessarily realize that. Like I remember the first one, after I got done, I was like cooking lunch or something like that and just had it playing. Yeah. So it's good. Yeah. It's a good time. It's a good time.
It's like what I say. It's 100% free because everybody, y'all are helping me out with giving your time, and I don't monetize football. So the only thing it costs is your time and maybe your wife hollering at you, you're still watching that clinic thing? Like,
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but yeah, it's gonna be a great time. But that being said, we're gonna be hanging out in 2 days.
If you're at NC State on Saturday,
Yes.
come say hello.
Yeah, come hang out with us. Don't be shy. I
Don't be
am.
shy.
So
Yeah, me
if
too.
if I recognize logos, I'll come talk to you. But if I don't recognize you, then I probably won't say anything. And I don't think I'm being rude. It's just who I am, right?
Yeah.
I'm not really. I don't think I'm not big time. I hate when people say that. I'm not big time. I'm not a guru. I'm just introverted. So that's nothing against you. I'm gonna hang out with my guys I know, and I'm gonna get my picture with Philip Rivers, and I'm gonna hang out and chill. I got a picture with Bill Cowher last time.
Right.
So I'm gonna get my picture with Philip Rivers, being a State guy. So hang out with us at State. Come learn some stuff from the best school in the country. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Well, Coach, this is the time of the podcast. You got your question for me, and we'll reciprocate and talk about whatever it is. And this is my favorite part of the week, outside of like other things that I do. Like when it comes to this podcast, like getting the question, I love it. Last week's podcast was dope. I love answering questions.
Yeah, it was cool. I like that one. All right. Dream car. Vehicle. Don't gotta be a car.
Yeah.
What do you got?
All right. So my dad is a car guy.
I'm not.
I grew up going to car shows, going to cruise-ins. Like that's what we did in the fall. Like I played football, especially in high school. I played football and then went to cruise-ins, right? So especially in Powder Mountain, they had a huge cruise there, and like up and down the street, just hot rods, new and old. Would be up and down the street, and we would walk around for hours and look at cars. That's what my dad loves to do. So does. So I enjoy cars as well. So what I would say, favorite car, I'll do a new and an old. It'll be a 1969 Camaro. Purple's my favorite color. It doesn't have to be purple, but I do love purple car. And I'm just weird like that. I just love purple. But it would have to be the most expensive color is red, and so I'd have a red 1969 Camaro. Just for reference, I'm gonna pull it up. I don't have the poster or anything like that in my thing behind me, like I'm in high school. Let's see. There we go. There you go. Yep. So love that car. I've never ridden in one. I've seen plenty. You can even have the black racing stripe.
That thing's bad, dude.
Yeah. And then I guess other than a new, whatever the newest, I would say 2023 because the last one that is not like electric would be the 2023 Dodge Challenger. That thing is a beast.
Yeah.
That's the last one that's not going to be electric. Because they're all just moving to that. So you get the Hellcat package.
Yep.
I would get black, and I would just scare people riding down the road.
Yeah.
So that, or I'm a big Dodge guy. I have a Dodge, so let's just say I don't know why it says that. Let's see, just Dodge truck, just a normal Dodge Ram. I'm a big Dodge guy, so I would being an offensive line coach, and this is what I'll say, and I'll stop sharing this. What I'll say is, Coach, when we were in Charlotte for Glacier,
right?
No, Glacier Playbook. We're in
Playbook,
and we went out to eat, like, and y'all all pulled up y'all's trucks, and I was in the car. I felt like such like, I mean, I'm in my Dodge Charger, which is what it is. Love my Chargers, a lot of space, but I don't have a truck anymore. I still own a truck. It's just not running right now. But we all pulled up in y'all's trucks. I was like, I just don't feel like the offensive line coach here today.
Yeah, look, I went through. Let's see. I've had 3 vehicles. I don't know. I just feel like big guy. I gotta have a bigger vehicle. Yeah. It doesn't help with my dream vehicle that I'm about to show you, but Yeah, I don't know. I got it. I'm a F-150 guy. I accidentally turned my camera off instead of sharing my screen.
I
And I'm not like one of those guys who's like die hard, like, oh, I'm never getting a Chevy. It's just what I got.
yeah. I've only had two vehicles. I mean, I bought my first truck as a 1997 Dodge Ram. It's red, for $500 because the dude was going through a divorce and didn't want the wife to get the truck and sold it to my dad and I for $500. This is in high school, and literally I had to do a lot of work to that truck. But yeah, it was. And then now I have my Charger, '08 Dodge Charger. I swear there's almost more room in my Charger than there was in that truck. And that's what I got to have a spacious car. So
Yeah.
other than that, I would have a truck.
Yeah, my last truck was a 97 F-150 red.
There you go.
Extended cab. Small. In the back, at least. I never sat in the back, so I didn't really have to worry about it. This doesn't help my case as far as big vehicles, but if this was a full cab, I'd be in it. I mean, that thing is mean.
Dude, you would, yeah. They'd be like, oh, it's Coach Rapp.
Yeah.
Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Right. I just love, like, even the Chevys, like old square body ones. I love them. Yeah. I wish it was a four-door, but, you know, I put my son right in the middle.
That's dope.
I have to do something. But, yeah, I mean, those things are beautiful. I was going to buy a white one. God, when was that? Like right after college, and I wound up losing it.
Really?
Somebody got there like right before me or whatever. It was beautiful. It was a Chevy though. But yeah, I love those square body trucks. They're pretty. But
yeah, that just screams like 1980s football coach.
Right. Right. I agree.
Love the question.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. Love the question. What will be a new vehicle? Like just new, like just all the bells and whistles, just whatever.
I really like the new Silverados.
Okay.
My father-in-law has, I think it's a 21. I could be wrong. Anyway, the new Silverados I think are sweet. One of my players drives one. It's lifted. It's all blacked out, but it's like a matte gray. I don't even know if that's a color. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably go Silverado. I was never like a vehicle guy growing up. Like my dad wasn't really into them. Like he would work on them, but that was really it. So I never really like thought about it too much, you know. So, but yeah, those new Silverados are sweet.
Coach, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not saying you are. I'm just making a joke. Don't make fun of my shirt. Say I look like a crosswalk because my kids did today. I had a polo on at school, and I put this shirt on for go to practice. And they're like, "Could you look like a big old crosswalk?" And I'm like, "Man, forget y'all." Gotta be able to laugh at yourself.
That's right. That's right.
What's funny is like I bought a bunch of these shirts. From me, like I went like just like when we were going on vacation, like for the summer. And they're just like polyester shirts, right? And so like these are like my coaching shirts. Because I don't have a lot of like team gear.
Right.
Which will change, but so I just like a bunch of like once these shirts I just wear at practice. And so I told my wife as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make fun of it like a crosswalk. So 100% got the stripes down, but
the new trail, yes, they are.
Yeah, the new trail boss.
They are. I think that's what my player has is a trail boss. I could be wrong, but yeah, they're sweet.
Yeah,
they are sweet.
I need a truck to be able to pull a boat that I don't own.
There you go.
I don't know. I'm not.
That's the first step to getting a boat, though.
Yeah, I'm not a big
pull it.
I like boats, which you know what boat stands for.
Bring out another 1,000.
Yeah, so I'm not a boat guy. I'm a friend that has a boat guy.
There you go.
I don't have any friends that have boats, but like I said this before, like when I was at Tallwood, we had a parent of one of my players that had a boat, so that was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have any friends that have boats, but I'm perfectly content fishing off a pier or fishing off
Yeah.
the bank.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah, you
It's
have
a
to worry
lot
about the boat. The boat
Yeah.
scares away the fish too. So
Yeah. My dad completely rebuilt a boat while I was in college, and it was very expensive. A lot of thousands.
Yeah.
You'd have to add a couple more T's to the end of it. But yeah, I mean, they're cool. I love them. I have
yeah,
a couple of friends who are big time like fishing, and they all have them. So I'm perfectly fine being that guy who, hey, you want to go fish? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
like, do you want to get in the game? Like
Right.
Friday,
Right.
you can run out with the team. You can still stand on the sidelines. But that's about what I got.
Right. Right. That's funny. Oh man. Well, Saturday, if you're at NC State, come hang out.
Yeah, man.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Like, I don't even know who's gonna be there. Like, I know you and Simmons are gonna be there, but other than that, like, I don't know. No one's really talking about like being there. It's like
I keep getting the emails. I don't know. Are you getting them? Like they were supposed to cap it at 400. I don't even think they have 400. So
yeah. Last time I saw like three. It was an upper 300s. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I kind of prefer it that way.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I like Playbook so much.
Oh yeah.
Well, part of the reason.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to learning from them, and hopefully we can find something that we can use and take back, and whether it's scheme wise or individual drill wise or whatever the case is. So it'll be fun. The biggest thing with like colleges to me is like sometimes, not all the time, sometimes you got to like sift through to figure out like, okay, can I do this? Like this is really cool, but I don't know if I can do it. Whether it be trying to play to the kids' strengths or whatever the case is. So, but yeah, I mean, I think especially having those three staffs, like I'm really excited to listen to App State. So,
yeah, I learned a lot from last year from App State. So I hope it kind of goes again. Like their tight end coach I would love to talk ball with him because he was.
right.
Because obviously you only have one position on the field, but he's like they do so much with their tight end because it's a tight end H-back combination,
Right.
and they have so many different tags for their guys, which I don't think is relevant for me.
Right.
But like some of those tags are like, oh, that'd be dope. Kind of like take that into a game. So because I love tight end H-back play, so 100%.
Yeah, I'm hoping I find a quarterback coach and I can coach the tight end H-backs.
Yeah.
Be a good deal.
Yeah, that's the spot to be outside the offensive line.
Right, of course.
Well, as a head coach, tight ends would be dope.
It'd be sweet. I would enjoy it. That's for sure.
Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. If you're still hanging out with us, because I see the number still going up. If you're still hanging out with us, we really appreciate y'all. This is episode 11. Okay, 11 weeks ago. Well, it was more like 13 because we skipped 2.
Yeah.
But 13 weeks ago, dude, like started the pod, and I love it. We vibe very well, and a lot of interaction. Like literally, I had so many guys be like, "Dude, where's the pod?" Like when we were gone for where I was gone for vacation. Dude, we're here. We're still here. If you have topics, you have questions, or you have things you want to discuss with us, even live, DM Coach Rap or I, so we can get you on, or we can talk about your topic, or any of those things like that. Because we want to be as interactive as possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Coach Rap, anything for the folk before we leave?
Keep learning. Keep doing it for the kids. Come to NC State Saturday. Say hello. It'll be a good time.
Yeah. Like Coach Rap said, I love it. Make sure you're doing right by the kids, man. Mentor them, teach them something, hold them accountable.
Right.
Don't let them get the easy way out. If they need hard, tough love.
That's right.
And they're not gonna treat them easy in the real life. So everybody knows that. So I'm sure you're doing right by them. Do right by your family, man. Especially with off season coming to an end real soon. I'm about to literally go. My wife probably watch. I'm gonna see it's YouTube. 2 on YouTube. Guarantee one of them's hers. I'm about to go downstairs and hang out with her for a little bit. So she's probably like fist bumping, like, yes, tell them. So hang out with her for a little bit. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow's her birthday, so I gotta go.
Nice. Happy birthday to her.
So happy birthday to my wife Taylor. But yeah, guys, if you're gonna be at state on Saturday, hit us up. Also, if you want to come to the clinic, and I know I always tell people, I get them to sign up, which you really don't have to, but I like to track who's in and out. But I get people to sign up for the clinic because I know if you're gonna sign, if you will take the time to sign up on a Google sheet, that you're gonna come to my darn clinic. Now, if I just tell you about it, like, oh yeah, that clinic, yeah, I'll be there. You won't.
Right.
So yeah, when you get your email and then you get on the email list, hopefully those aren't annoying you. But if you go on the email list, and you'll be able to know whenever we go live on Saturday. But come on Saturday, come hang out.
Definitely.
And interact. But I love my international guys. I literally had a couple guys DM me. We're like, dude, can't wait for the next one. So let's get it on Saturday. So for Coach Rapp, I'm Coach Tatum. This is the Counterculture Podcast, episode number 11. Make sure you're doing it for the kids, and see y'all next week. Appreciate you guys. See y'all.
Follow the Twitter. See y'all.
Follow the Twitter. It's right there. CTR Culture Pod on Twitter. Follow the Twitter. Make sure you do that. We are over 116 followers and growing. So make sure you do that. All right, guys. Peace.
See y'all.